All right, here we are for round number 1 against HJC. HJC is kind of a grinder of some kind. I don't really remember what he or she plays. Got a pretty easy mulligan here, no lands that we can play. I'm going to keep this one. It's pretty slow, obviously, but I can play the cliff, cycle the sandbar. Hopefully it's good enough to get there. Counterspell seems fine. I'll put that on top. Probably lead off with the island then. Or I'll lead off with the Swift Water Cliffs, but play the island on turn 2. Everyone's expecting me to be playing 100 cards all the time nowadays. Come on, I did it for like 2 weeks. That's it. Now I'm known as the 100 card guy. That's fine. All right, so blue-black should be a pretty good matchup for us. I am a little concerned that we might not be able to protect our win conditions enough to kill them. But it's hard to say so far. Go ahead and play Accumulated Knowledge here. So that's not great. I'm going to go ahead and play the Swiftwater Cliffs, pass the turn. Hopefully my opponent isn't on an Accumulated Knowledge deck, because it would be pretty bad for me to have speed this off right away. Preordain's fine. Is HJC on the all foils? Are these foil? They look kind of foil. Preordain definitely foil. Let's go ahead and cycle this sandbar. See what we can get here. Another land. So our draws have been pretty bad. Boilerworks. I'll just pick up the island. I don't anticipate us getting like killed super fast or anything like that, so I don't think the 1 life is going to matter at all. Okay, another Preordain. Goes bottom top. Bajuka Bog. Getting rid of my Accumulated Knowledge is pretty annoying. If I had another one, I probably would have cast it there, but I didn't. Oh, right on time. Right on time, Accumulated Knowledge. That makes me think my opponent probably doesn't have Accumulated Knowledge in their deck. So I'm expecting at some point my opponent to play a 3-drop with Counterspell backup. I picked up the Bog again, so I'm not going to play this yet. That's a good draw. I'm going to wait until I want to play and flash that back in the same turn. So you guys are seeing here why I like Think Twice over Accumulated Knowledge in a lot of my decks. Because this happens to you. Alright, let's go ahead and pick up an island. So the reason I'm not casting this Deep Analysis is I want to get the full 4 cards off of it. And that's just not going to happen. So Chittering Rats is pretty annoying, but I think I'll let it resolve. The cards I'm really worried about are the, okay, there goes the Bajuka Bog, perfect. The cards I'm really worried about are like Ghostly Flicker and, what else am I worried about? Ghostly Flicker, I'm worried about, like Archaeomancer is like the really important one. So another Deep Analysis, pretty good. I still don't really want to leave one of those in my graveyard at this point. So I think I'll probably play one next turn. Just because they can Ghostly Flicker this Bajuka Bug, and that's pretty annoying. I'm not countering these like 2-for-1s. There's the Bajuka Bug. Guess I should have probably figured that would happen. Alright, let's Deep Analysis. And I'll flash it back right away. Probably going to bolt this, just so I don't have to discard. Yeah, I'll definitely bolt it. I'm at the point where I guess I don't really care what my opponent all resolves this turn, so I might just Accumulated Knowledge in response to this Bog. I could counter this Muldrift. It doesn't really matter. My opponent has a counterspell up, so I think I'll let that resolve. Again, I really want to counter like Archaeomancer. I'm not sure. This is how I would normally play like with my teachings deck, but this might not be the way you want to play with this deck in particular. Because I do need to kill my opponent. I'll eat through my cards before they will, almost for sure. So let's go ahead and cast this Accumulated Knowledge for a draw 2. We'll see if they counter it. I don't mind getting the next one exiled because they just aren't good anymore. We haven't found any of our win conditions yet, which is nice. Because I don't particularly want to draw any of them. I don't want that stuff. I don't need more removal or anything like that. I'm not quite prepared to protect this for long enough yet. My opponent has 7 cards still. The more I look at it, the worse this matchup seems. Like, how do I actually win this game? I'm not really sure. Because I only have like 6 of these, you know? And they've got tons of removal spells. And it's not like they have tons of counter spells, but they're gonna have 4. I think maybe I can win by like, I could mill them eventually. That doesn't seem super likely. Just pass the turn. All right. See what my opponent has. So our opponent is now below us on cards, which is good. I don't know if that's like enough or anything, but I would just say I'm not really super keen on fighting through all of their fighting through all their counter spells and stuff and all their removal. Doesn't seem like what I want to do. Let's just cast this. Problem is, they cast a counterspell here, then what do I do? Do I counter it? Because they're just going to be able to remove both of these really easily. Yep, I'm actually fine with that happening. This is a tough deck to play. I actually don't know the strategy here. I might have to, I think Amlebo's on Discord right now. Let me quick ask him what I'm supposed to do. So like, this is the creature I want to counter. The problem is I have like no real way to stop reaping the graves either. Muldrifter I am okay with. I'm gonna quick pop on my phone and ask him Lobo. Alright, here we go. I'm Lobo. How do I beat Flicker with pieces? I run out of win cons. All right, see what he tells me. All right, I'm taking the 1, of course. I'm gonna flashback the Firebolt on this Muldrifter, and I guess I'll probably counter a Ghostly Flicker if it plays one. Yep. Go ahead and counterspell that. I guess I'll deep analysis myself. Yeah, let's just flash it back. I'll go shields down. Well, those weren't great. Okay. Amobo says I am supposed to protect all those flurries, so we'll see how that works out for me when I draw the next one. Some Flame Slash this guy. I guess I'm not milling them, so let's go ahead and pieces. Alright, so you got 2 counterspells out of their hand. So I think I messed up earlier by... I shouldn't have probably cast this at all. But I'm assuming they're sitting on like 4 removal spells. I also haven't drawn any excludes, which are some of the best cards in this matchup. Right, there's a flurry, so I can't really cast that though. I can't protect it at all. Okay, I got bogged again. Gain another life, I suppose. So we are even on cards with them. I need to draw. Okay, that's a good start. Problem is, like, they've just got an Edict in their graveyard, and they probably got at least one more in their hand. Alright. I really need to draw another pieces. If this is a Muldrifter, it's okay. Yeah, the problem is I'm in a spot where I can't beat Reaping the Graves anymore. Like, it's just not happening for me. Alright, hopefully there's no Reaping the Graves at the end of this. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and kill some of these. I hit the rat. Then I'll flash back on the Muldrifter. Flame Slash this Muldrifter. So we're pretty far ahead on time. Again, hopefully they don't have Reaping the Graves here either. Yeah, looks like they do. I could never beat this card, but I'm just going to counter the one that's targeting the Archaeomancer. I should have probably just left one of these alive so they didn't get quite so many back. Okay, so I need to counter that third one, it looks like. Okay, so Chittering Rats is okay. This is the one I want to counter. So I can beat a bunch of Chittering Rats. The problem is they just have another Archaeomancer in their deck that I'm going to lose to. I'm going to put the Flurry on top. And then this rat's not going to be able to get me because I can just bolt one. Alright. Wait, that was countered? Why was that countered? I guess my opponent's just going to kill me here. So I really needed to draw some excludes. I'm going to lose here to a Flicker probably. Okay, they didn't have one yet. All right, I'm just messaging him Lovebo again. All right. Well, we're gonna play this thing, and we're gonna try to block with it. It's not going to work. We are neither going to resolve. We might resolve this, but none of our Minotaurs will be alive on our turn, or by the time they attack. Alright, so we're not quite dead this turn, but I don't think we have any outs to draw to for next turn. The only way I could win is if I drew pieces of the puzzle. My guess would be my opponent will just counter this preordain and the game will be over. Yep. So we're ahead on time. I'm going to make them do the attack. So we went through this whole thing with no excludes, right? So 38 cards. Yeah, 38 cards with no excludes. So pretty unfortunate. That's the best card in the matchup, main deck. This should be a really easy matchup to win though, because I have Pyroblast and they don't. So the removal's bad, Electricity is terrible, Flame Slash is pretty bad too. I'm going to cut all the Flame Slashes. All that really matters are counterspells and just counterspells. Counterspells and draw spells. I do want to leave at least a little bit of removal in so I can kill some of their stuff, but I don't need to kill that much of it. Let's cut one more bolt. The thing is, like, most of my, like, Pyroblast acts as a removal spell for a lot of their stuff too. One last cut. I think it's just another bolt. Let's go down to 6 removal spells. I think that'll be enough anyway. Would I like to play first? Yes, I would. Okay, I'll keep this. Preordain's normally enough to get you where you want to go. So this hand looks great. I would like to find, obviously, like one more land before they can cast 3 drops, so I can counter or Pyroblast them. These are both not lands. They both go to the bottom. All right, there's another island, so that's a good start. I don't care about anything they can cast on the first turn or two, so, well, I might as well just accumulated knowledge though. I could have considered countering this since my opponent might be really short on lands, but they haven't missed a land drop yet, so I don't really want to try to do that. All right, accumulated knowledge. If I miss my land, I probably will preordain. And I'm definitely going to preordain. These are both pretty good. Definitely want more land. I've got this deep analysis and nothing really wrong with preordain, so let's go top top. And then I think I'll play out the island, actually. Not going to Pyroblast up for another turn, but I'll be able to counter any of their 3 drops. Okay. Let's go ahead and preordain. These are both great, so we'll go top top. All right, this game is going much better. So removal is pretty bad against the blue-black flicker deck. So just having counter spells and stuff is much stronger. I'm kind of wishing I'd countered that preordain at this point, now that I've got a ton of card draw and counter spells in my hand. I'm going to preordain next turn if I don't hit a land. This matchup is all about land drops, so I'm going to make sure I hit some. Ooh, those are both great, but I have enough counterspells and I have enough card draw and stuff. I need more land. Looks like I'm going to be discarding a deep analysis. That's fine. It is a bit of a beating if my opponent gets to hit this with a Bojuka Bog, but didn't look like it happened. All right. Swifty. We're just going to keep going like this for a while until they miss a land drop. It's interesting that they'd cycle away a land, because whoever has to start discarding to hand size is going to lose the game. Dress, I'll just counter it. It's fine. Let's see what they have next. I'll just Pyroblast that one. They've got a Dispel. Well, I also have a Dispel. And now I get to draw a couple cards. Get to deep analysis. Yeah, this is looking pretty good for me. I couldn't quite cast anything plus hold up double counterspell, so didn't want to do that. So I guess I'm supposed to protect this Flurry of Horns. So let's go ahead and play it. I've got double counterspells up. I think this is how the matchup typically ends up going. So we got the Flurry down. And then if they chainers one of them away, I'm going to let it happen. But if they try to chainers them both away, I might protect one. I'm not positive yet. I don't want them to resolve like a Muldrifter. So I'll let one happen. If they cast another one, they won't be able to... yeah, okay. Minotaur attack. Gonna cast pieces. Yeah, let's counter that one. Should have maybe cast pieces first. Could have found out if it would resolve or not. I guess it doesn't matter too much. I can just play another pieces. Alright. Flurry of Horns and Pyroblast seem pretty good. Let's go ahead and deeply analyze myself. And play Swiftwater Cliffs most likely. Yeah, let's just play the Cliffs. Alright. Drew all my flurries. I drew all 3 of them. Let's see what they've got here. Reaping the Graves for Muldrifter. Yeah, that's a lot of copies of one Muldrifter, that's for sure. So they know I have the Pyroblast for the Muldrifter. I think I'll cast it just to force them to use whatever counterspell they've been holding. Evoked Muldrifter, okay. They're gonna draw 2. Now it's dead. Relic doesn't really hurt me. Hurts my opponent much more than it hurts me if he pops it. Alright, cool. Now I don't care if my opponent kills this Minotaur at all. I've got way more. I should have probably cast some of them this turn. That was questionable by me. Because now I can't even pieces without discarding, but I guess I don't care if I have to discard. So let's cast pieces. Exclude and dispel. Play the Cliffs. Yeah, we pretty much wrapped this game up. I'm going to discard the Boilerworks, I guess. Just because I'll have to discard another turn later. If I play it. Nah, Mountain's worse. Goodbye, Mountain. Alright, opponent. We just drew too many cards for our opponent to handle. 7 mana. Oh, that's the flashback chainers. I'll actually let that resolve. Well, I can't even do anything about it, so obviously I'm letting it resolve. That one I'm not letting resolve. Let's go ahead and exclude it. Alright, that worked. Okay, let's make the play I should have made last turn, playing another Flurry of Horns. Counterspell. I'll just dispel that. Alright, let's get in. I'm going to go ahead and cast this Pieces of the Puzzle. See if I can find a counterspell. Exclude and a Bolt. So I also have 7 points of burn in my hand right now, as well as these guys. Chainers, I will obviously let resolve, don't have any options. Yeah, I think we just had a bad draw last game, just drew too many of our removal spells and stuff, and removal spells aren't important. Just bolt my opponent. I'm gonna counter it. Oh, okay. Now my opponent has 2 cards. Get in there, flurry. That's 8. All right, we did it. Cool. Yeah, I liked our sideboarding plan. You can see they didn't resolve, like, they resolved a single creature that whole game. I'm not sure they resolved any. So that's kind of what we're hoping for in the matchup. I think I probably messed up game 1. I should have been countering like the Seagate Oracles and stuff, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure they mattered that much because I had all those burn spells that suck. All right, no lands, obvious mulligan. This hand's pretty decent, I'll keep it. Preordain is fine, but I think the 1 will be fine. I think we're going to be a little pinched on mana for a little while. Although maybe not. We got some pretty good draws here. I actually don't really want this extra land at this point. We'll draw more lands eventually. Okay. Spewing off the Bojuka Bog early. That's fine with me. I'm going to hold up Pyroblast for a Seagate Oracle, which I will blast. I will blast a Seagate Oracle, I think, if they play one. If they play Chittering Rats, obviously I can't do anything about it. I messed that up. I should have cast Accumulated Knowledge before then, I think. No, it doesn't matter. I still get to draw everything right now. Okay. Either got a rat. I take 2. We'll draw a removal spell eventually. This is a pretty slow clock, so we got all kinds of time. Plays another rat. I'm just gonna accumulate a knowledge before the rat trigger resolves so I can draw some more cards. If it's a Seagate Oracle, I'm actually gonna Pyroblast this. I should have accumulated knowledge first there. Okay, assuming he's gonna pick up the bog. All right, let's go ahead and... So what's more likely, that I draw a red spell I want to cast, or that I draw land plus another... I think I'm probably just going to cast this Firebolt, most likely. Firebolt that, pick up the red. Okay, so they do get free reign for 1 turn here, but they don't have a ton of mana. Like, if they resolve a Muldrifter, it's whatever. But they can't resolve a Muldrifter and bog away my Firebolt, so I think that would have been fine. Okay, they get to do that. So I do have this Dispel up with my Exclude, so I think I will just pass the turn right now. They don't hit me for 1 for like a lot of turns in a row now. I'm okay with that. The only issue with this line of play is a Duress could get me. So my opponent's probably going to Dispel this, and then I'll Dispel their Dispel. No, they didn't, huh? This is a Duress that should have been cast before the Seagate Oracle, that's for sure. Oh, an Unearth. I see. Okay. Well, we're just putting a land on top. Probably going to bog again. Sounds good. Let's go ahead and cast Pieces of the Puzzle. Alright, Accumulate Knowledge not very good now that they're all gone. So we'll just grab a Firebolt and the Pieces of the Puzzle. Play another island. I'm going to take this damage, I think. I'd like to keep this Firebolt in my graveyard, I guess. And I want to represent a few more spells. Okay, I take 3. So we drew the wrong counterspell so far. Like, I drew these double dispels and my opponent hasn't played an instant yet this whole game. But they are running low on cards, so hopefully they don't have too much more action. But if they play like a Muldrifter here, I'm going to be in big trouble. Another Dispel. Just go ahead and cast Pieces of the Puzzle. I really hope they counter it, and then I can Dispel them and get some of these Dispels out of my hand. Alright, well, I don't think I can keep that other Flurry. I think I just have to do this. Now I've got up Counterspell and Pyroblast. So we went from being in not such great shape to now I think we are in very good shape. There's a little bit of concern about whether or not I'm going to be able to like fight through all their Chainer's Edicts and stuff. I'm just going to Dispel any instant here. I assume it looks kind of like they're going to be trying to play a Ghostly Flicker. Yeah, so I would much rather Dispel this than use my Pyroblast, because Pyroblast can counter a Muldrifter. Hopefully they don't have Reaping the Graves. It's still the best card against us, and we have no good answers to it. Hydroblast. That's a tough one. Yeah, I'll still Dispel it. I'd rather hold up Pyroblast on their turn. Okay. So that went pretty well. If if they have like a Muldrifter plus a Dispel or a Counterspell, we're going to be in trouble. I'm going to counter that. I don't expect it to really work, but you never know. Also, don't really want to see Reaping the Graves to pull 3 creatures out of here. I'm hoping more for nothing, but it looks like they've Reaping the Graves or a Chittering Rat. Man. No? Wonder what they're holding up. Why wouldn't you play it for 3? I mean, I guess I should maybe clue into this. Like sometimes a Storm Count like will give you hints about what your opponent has in their hand. Interesting. I gotta say I'm a little surprised that that happened. So I think I'm gonna play this Flurry. So it'd be a little annoying if they Hydroblast it. Oh, Ghostly Flicker. Well, I don't care too much about that, but my opponent has like no cards, so, and I've got a Counterspell. Let's get in the beats. This will only be bad if they have 2 good spells here, or like a good spell plus a Counterspell. Duress, I guess I'll make them take my Counterspell. Looks like they drew a Duress plus a Muldrifter. They drew one or the other, so our opponent drew very well here. And if they drew a Hydroblast, they'll be able to kill these. Kill one of them. But that's okay. We drew very well by on our own right, so they only have 1 card left. I kill the Muldrifter. We get him for 2. So again, I need them to not just draw 2 good spells in a row. Like they need to have 1 spell plus draw another one. If they drew a land here, the game's probably over. So I talked to Mlebo in Discord chat while I was playing this, and it's supposed to be a very easy matchup, and I can see why it's pretty good. Like we just have so much more card advantage than them. If they don't draw Reaping the Graves, they just like can't win. I have to decide if I want to kill that Seagate Oracle here, and I think I won't, because I would rather not let them get more than 1 from the Reaping the Graves. So you usually should play around, like when you're winning, you should play around assuming that your opponent's going to draw the best possible card, which is what they did here. So I'm very happy that they're only able to get 2 Muldrifters instead of 2 Muldrifters and a 3rd Muldrifter. Hopefully I can counter one of them on the way down. And they don't have enough mana to cast the other one, so hopefully their last card isn't another counterspell. Looks like they drew very... Yeah, I mean, our opponent is drawing crazy well. I mean, not like unbeatable or anything. Like, I think we're still probably going to win as long as our pieces hit something good. Let's go ahead and deep analysis first. Okay, another flurry seems pretty strong. I would like to have more counterspells, but that's not the world I live in. Trying to play this mountain here. Okay. Am I just like that laggy? Let's leave up one island. Another flurry. Firebolt the Muldrifter. Okay, we're attacking. I could have just Pyroblasted the Seagate Oracle, but I'd rather hold up this Pyroblast and try to... I think I'll let their Muldrifter resolve, actually. If they play it. Nah, let's just counter it. Let's see if that works. Okay, our opponent missed. They must have missed if that resolved, like... If my Pyroblast resolved there, they must have missed for a turn or two. I think get back to rest. Oh, Unearth. Unearth is pretty good here. And they're gonna rat me. Oh, Seagate Oracle? I guess that makes sense. So I'm gonna cast Pieces of the Puzzle to start off the turn. We'll see what happens from there. Alright, can I win this turn with any of this stuff? So if I Pyroblast the Seagate Oracle and then I Firebolt this Archaeomancer, I won't quite have lethal. Or would I rather hold up Exclude here? I think I'll take Pyroblast and Exclude. I'm ahead on board. So I don't see too much reason to... Okay, they're just chump blocking. I don't see too much reason to like tap any lower. Let's just go ahead and flashback this deep analysis. And I'll preordain. Okay, maybe I should have probably done that all first so I could like find this bolt, but I'll put the bolt on top. Yeah, playing a little sloppy this last turn. I mean, we're pretty far ahead, but like I'd probably tap too much blue this turn and stuff. All right, I exclude the rat. And I Pyroblast this counterspell. Yeah, so we win anyways. Cool. This is supposed to be a great matchup, so I'm not surprised that we were able to win this one. Yeah, I can just bolt their face. I don't have to bolt a Seagate Oracle or anything like that. Maybe this is kind of slow rolling. Like I should have probably just done it before my opponent had to choose blocks. Not that it matters. All right, bolt your face. We did it. GG's HGC. All right, we are 1-0. Let's move on to the next round.